President Trump has said since then on multiple occasions that he played an instrumental role in helping to defuse that situation and avert, he said, nuclear war. I want to ask how important you think that role was played by the US president and his administration, and what is the state of affairs now with India and Pakistan? How do we avoid a repeat of those sorts of tensions?
Well, on the first one, Thomas, as I mentioned to you when we spoke during the conflict, India never needed persuading. India's message was consistent throughout. We're just conducting reprisals against terrorists. That as far as we're concerned, if Pakistan hits us, we'll have to hit back. If Pakistan stops, we'll stop. And from the Indian point of view, the moment the Pakistani Director General of Military Operations called his Indian counterpart and said, look, we want to call this off, India immediately said, we'll call it off. So India never needed persuading. But it's entirely possible that President Trump or people speaking on his behalf persuaded Pakistan, that Pakistan was being belligerent and the Americans said, we don't want this getting out of hand, cool it, and the Pakistanis yielded to Mr. Trump's entreaties, in which case, of course, we're grateful. Everyone wants peace on the subcontinent, India most of all. So I don't think that we would have any difficulty in crediting Mr. Trump for whatever he may have said to Pakistan. But we just wanted to make it very clear that he didn't say anything to us, and we are not a country that accepts the notion of mediation. Mediation implies equivalence, and we believe there can be no equivalence between terrorists and their victims. There can be no equivalence between a country that incubates terrorism and a country that is on the receiving end of these criminal actions. There can be no equivalence between a revisionist power that wants to upset the entire geopolitics of the subcontinent, change borders, and so on, and a country like India that's a status quo power that wants to get on with its development, get on with its economic growth, and focus on the well-being of its own people. There is no equivalence. And there's no equivalence, there can be no mediation. So we made it very clear that we don't welcome American or anybody else's mediation, but we certainly welcome, and we have great respect for the American presidency. If Mr. President or his officials spoke to the Pakistanis and got them to climb down so that we're now at peace on the border, that's a good thing for everybody. And we are at peace.